Well, hey there, everyone. Welcome to today's video of like where we can start to be thinking about fractions on a number line. Now, we have done that before, like in general, like when given a single fraction, like what to think about. So, for example, maybe someone said, oh, we have 3/4, and how do we show this on a number line? And what we've done in the past for that is one, build a number line. We know that this is smaller than one, right? Because fractions are part of a whole. And I would need to have all my parts to be a whole, which I don't. So we would model 0 through 1. We'd say, oh, this number line needs to be broken into 4 parts. And then, again, remember, this is 1 part, 2 parts, 3 parts, 4 parts, right? That's how we count the parts between the tick marks. And then we can think about labeling. So this would be the 1 out of the 4, the 2 out of the 4, and the 3 out of the 4. And then all of it, or the whole, would be 4 out of the 4. And then we'd say, oh, well, great. 3 out of 4 is right here. Put a dot. Life is good, right? So that's all great. Like we've done that. This is very helpful. But what we're going to look at today with fractions on a number line is like what happens if we have multiple fractions with different denominators. In this case, we have 3/4. And what if we had 2/8? And then what if someone's like, oh, please put in 1/2? And then someone's like, we also want to see 2/3, right? So now what happens with this is how do we take all of these pieces and put them on a number line together? So let's get straight. Okay, so it's really thinking about like our knowledge and what we know about fractions. One thing that can work is using something like this where we have multiple colors. Now, that's not always the case, right? It's not always going to work that we have lots of different colors. Maybe you have markers at home or colored pencils. You could also think about changing the size of your tick marks, but we're going to model that first just to say in the perfect world, right? Let's just say in the perfect world. Here, I'm going to write 3/4 and scoot this up, how we might be able to do this. Okay, so let's play around with that idea. So let's start here with my number line. Okay, I'm gonna make it really big to give myself lots of space. So again, I'm gonna go 0, I'm gonna go 1. Now, as we start to put these together, what we could do is kind of think about, okay, how can I represent each one of these with a different color? For example, let's start with 8s. Right, it's the first one I see. So I'm gonna take 8s and I'm gonna do that in purple. So I'm gonna make purple tick marks the 8ths. Okay, so watch, this could be a little tricky. So let's see, 8ths means I go in the middle, and then I make 4ths, and then I do the middle of each one of those, and that's going to get me 8ths, right? So, and I could even label. So this is going to be 1 out of 8, 2 out of 8, 3 out of 8, 4 out of 8, 5 out of 8, 6 out of 8, and 7 out of 8. Okay. So that would be a good start. So here's 2 out of 8. So we'll do that. Put that there. Now let's move to halves. So I'm going to do that in green. So half would be right in the middle, which actually is the equivalent of this right here. It's the same place. And I know that, okay, I know that for starters, because if we look, right, that was a weird line. Here's 1/2 and 2/2, like that is literally right in the middle. But I also know that because one thing that we can think about, half of something, right? Like if I have half of 10, that would be 5. That is half of 6, that would be 3. And so any fraction where the numerator is exactly half of the denominator actually is still equal to 1/2 because it is half of the pieces. In this case, we have 8. Half of 8 is 4. 4/8 is right in the middle. Okay, hope that made a little sense. That's just how we can think about that. So, but again, I could also do it with colors. So I made a big tick mark here for half. So I made it green, but I also made it larger. So that's another way I could show this. Okay, now we have to think about thirds. Now that's tricky too, because thirds, let's see, what colors do we have left? I guess I'll have to pick a new color. That's like golden. Okay, so now thirds, that means I'm going to have to kind of like go here and here. Because again, this would be 1, 2, 3, which aren't bad. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's not bad. And so then if I was 2/3, that would be right here. Now see, notice that this is getting messy. And again, what does help this is that I have different colors. So that is definitely one way that this can work. And we also do this because it can just show us the order and value. Because we can already see if I had to like put these in any sort of order. So far, I'm actually going in how much they're worth. Like this was the smallest, then this was next, and this was next. And you can see that on the number line, right? So then if we think about 3/4, okay, we'll do that in blue. So remember 3/4, to do 4, I'm going to go in the middle. So that's going to be another one right here. And then I'm going to do the middle of the middle. And actually you can see that 3 out of 4, here's 1/4 right here, which is equivalent to 2/8. That would be the same thing. And here's 2/4, which again is the same thing as 4/8 and the same thing as 1/2, because again, the numerator is half the denominator. And then 3/4, which actually shows that that is equivalent to 6/8, which is true. So I could go right here. So that works. It works. I have all these fun different colors, and notice again, I had to like think about what it meant as the whole for each one, and I just kind of made those pieces. But life isn't always that great because we might get a series of fractions and we only have a pencil. So I want to now model like how can we do this with just pencil and paper, right? Or who knows, maybe on Seesaw, which I guess Seesaw we could change colors, but still, who cares? We're going to try this anyway. I think it's really important to know. So let's just grab some random fractions. 3/8, 5, I'm going to go crazy, 5/10, 1/3, and the 5/6. Great. Okay. So it's not always going to be 4. It could be 3. It could be 2, whatever. But let's say we have to take these 3 fractions. We have to put them on a number line. Now, this is where it gets tricky, but this is work. But again, remember, lots of work doesn't always mean hard or difficult or impossible. What I'm literally going to do is, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4 different fractions, I'm going to build, I'm going to go back to black for my number line. I'm going to build 4 identical number lines. And what I mean by identical is I'm going to make sure they're right on top of each other and that they start and end on the same place. Okay. And this is a lot like what we did with equivalent fractions. So there's 4 right there, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put each one of these on a number line, and then I'm going to put them all together. So bear with me, see what I mean by this. So first I'm going to make this one 3/8. So again, remember the start for all of these number lines is going to be 0. And they're all going to end at 1. Okay, so the first one I'm going to cut into 8 pieces. So again, middle, right? And what I might do then is maybe I'll just make the middle for all of them so it's all in the same place. Middle of middle. And then middle, 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 middle. That gets me 3/8. Or it gets me 8, sorry. So this is 1/8 right here. So 2/8 and 3/8. So 3/8 lives right here, right there on that dot. Okay. Now I'm going to go with 5/10. Now, again, remember the trick for 10, and I'm going to put that on this number line here. I'm going to put it on the second one. The trick for 10 is you do one right in the middle, which I already did, perfectly lined up, and then you have to do 4 on each side. It's not bad, but it's not perfect, so I'm going to do another one. Let's see. That's better. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And that gets you 10 pieces. So this would be 1/10. Notice one of the things that's important is actually just knowing the tricks on how to cut these things up, right? How do I cut it into 8s? Oh, I go middle, then I go middle, middle, then I go middle, 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 middle. I hope that made sense, but that's what it does. 10, draw a line right in the middle and then do 4 equal tick marks on each side. That will equal 10 pieces. So 5/10, so 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10 right here, right in the middle, which is true. That's actually 1/2. Because remember our trick, this 5 is half of 10. So it's right in the middle, 5/10. Okay. Now I'm going to do thirds. I'm going to do that on this number line. Oh, I should label. Sorry, big mistake. Whew. Glad I caught that. All right, now I'm going to go thirds. Now remember, thirds is a little bit before the half and a little bit after the half. Oof, I don't know. Let's see, this could probably come out further. Actually, this could come sooner. Maybe there? No. Oh boy. Boom. Boom. There, I like that. Sorry, I kept using that middle line to judge, and I actually don't need to use that. It's just there, and that's good. It's good resource. But again, if we want to see it, here's 1 piece, 2 pieces, 3 pieces. So there's my third. So that works. And I need 1/3. So that's actually the very first one. So that's going to be right here. I can already start to see which ones are bigger than others, right? I can see 1/3 so far as my smallest. Because again, look where it is. It's right there. And like 3/8, it's right there. So they're in different places. And then like 1/2, right? So you can kind of see along the scale, like who's closer to 1. That kind of helps me think about value. Okay, and now let's do 5, 6. So remember with 5, 6, here's the great thing. If I want to do 6s, I start with 3s. So I can actually copy the one that's above it. And then I do the middles of each one of those. So 1, 2, 3. So there's 5, 6. So notice how I set all those up. That's going to be really important. I'm doing just one at a time. Oh, and I should definitely do this in a different color. What do we got? Well, let's go to that gold I had earlier. Okay, sorry. Boom, boom. So there's my 6 pieces. And if this is 1, 6. So 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6. So 5, 6 right here. Okay. So what I did is I took all 4 of these fractions and I made them on their own separate number lines, but I stacked all those number lines really close and on top of each other. Because now watch, here's the crazy part. I'm going to shift this up. And what I'm going to do, this is great. You're going to love this. I'm going to make one more number line right underneath it because I'm just going to copy everything I got. I'm going to put it all together, right? So I know this is 0 and I know this is 1. I know 5, 6 is right here. So look, I'll just go do, 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 do. Cool. Here's 5, 6. Let's see. Here's 5/10 right here. So I'm just going to go boop, 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 boop. Yeah, that's right. You're going to make the noise when you do it. Boop, 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 boop. Just kidding. But you can see, again, I'll highlight it so you can see I'm just following it straight down to this bottom number line and copying it. Just following it straight down and copying it. So now with 3/8, look, it's right here. I'm going to go boop, 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 boop. And I can put 3/8 right here. I'm not saying you need the highlighter because look, honestly, I'm going to get rid of the highlighter. But I can just like drag my pencil down. So I'm going to start up here and I, like dotted line is me showing you that I'm dragging it down. And I'm going to say 3/8 is right there. And then 1/3 is right here. And there they are. They're actually all on the same number line, even though they all have different denominators and they're in the right order. So this is a pretty cool concept that I want you to be thinking about and practicing, right? Again, given multiple fractions with different denominators, put each one on its own number line, but stack them all together, and then just transfer them all down to the same number line like I did there. Okay, so I want you to give that a try. Practice it out like anything, right? We just keep practicing and practicing until things make sense. And as always, I thank you for your hard work, and we will see you next time.